It begins with a moment no one expected. A moment that shook both fans and critics of the secret lives of Mormon wives. When Demi Engemann walked into this interview, she wasn't the bold, fiery woman viewers saw on screen. She wasn't the villain, the snake, the hypocrite the internet has painted her out to be. She was simply Demi, exhausted, emotional, raw, and finally ready to open up. And the first thing she said was something no one was prepared for. After surviving 3 intense seasons of drama, betrayal, breakdowns, and public scrutiny, she admitted she wasn't sure she could keep doing this anymore. Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually. And in that single breath, she flipped the entire narrative on its head. As we sit across from her at the end of 2025, she's lived through more than just reality TV. She's survived the fallout of storylines, friendships collapsing, alliances forming, and viewers turning her into the internet's favorite target. So before anything else, we ask her the question no one asked her during filming. How are you doing? She pauses, exhales, and looks down. It's not the pause of a celebrity searching for the right answer. It's the pause of a woman trying not to fall apart. She finally whispers, "It's been hard, it's been rough, I won't lie." And it becomes clear she's carrying far more than the show ever revealed. When she describes her darkest moments, it's heartbreaking. She talks about days she couldn't get out of bed, days where her tears didn't stop, days she didn't eat, days she shut the world out because the weight of judgment crushed her. These weren't scenes filmed for Hulu. These weren't storylines crafted by producers. This was real life, unfolding far from any camera. Yet she doesn't shy away from any of it. She says she learned something powerful this season. She had to let herself feel. She had to allow the sadness, the anger, the confusion, the betrayal, the pain, because pretending she was fine only broke her more. In those moments, she leaned into her husband, Brett Engemann, describing him as her anchor, her strength, her rock in a storm she never saw coming. She tells us that reality TV pushes you to your limits in ways no one can prepare for. You sign up knowing it'll be intense, she says, but not like this. When asked if the experience was worth it, she gives a complicated answer. Yes and no. Yes, because she grew, because opportunities opened, because she confronted old wounds she'd buried for years. But also no, because the cost was heavier than she imagined. A cost paid with her mental health, her relationships, and her emotional stability. Yet even in the chaos of season 3, she found something beautiful. Something she never expected after the tension of previous seasons. Her friendship with Whitney Leavitt. She calls that friendship the joy of the season. The one thing that lifted her up when everything else was pulling her down. And she admits the bond surprised her. After season 1, no one, not even Demi, expected them to become so close. But something shifted. She finally understood where she went wrong, where her stubbornness and misinterpretation had blinded her. And when she was at her lowest point, Whitney did something that changed everything. She showed up. She offered compassion. She extended love even though Demi had not done the same for her in the past. The way Demi tells it, Whitney didn't just support her, she saved her. On the days when Demi felt like the world was collapsing, Whitney's kindness became a lifeline. That friendship, Demi says with tears in her eyes, is something she will treasure forever. But just as season 3 gave her something beautiful, it also gave her moments she never wants to relive again. Especially anything involving Marciano. That storyline consumed her life, drained her energy, and stained her relationships in ways she's still trying to heal from. He didn't deserve that much space in my life, she says, and he won't get it again. When we ask her who she's close with now, she immediately answers, Whitney. And when we press about who she's most at odds with, she sighs and admits it's Jesse, explaining that their issues feel mutual rather than one-sided. She doesn't mince words. The cast has a way of choosing sides, sometimes based on truth, sometimes based on whispers. And while many conflicts have been mended, loyalties shift constantly in their group. Some women jump into battles that aren't theirs, she says, simply because someone else pulled them in. But perhaps the most pressing question fans want answered is this. Who is the real Demi Engemann? The one we see on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, or someone completely different? She takes a deep breath and says she prides herself on being authentic, even when that authenticity isn't flattering. She insists there are countless moments of kindness, softness, and compassion that never make it into the final cut. Viewers see the explosions, not the apologies. They see the arguments, not the healing. They see the bold statements, not the vulnerable truths. She doesn't deny her flaws. She admits she's had moments where she was snaky, moments where she was hypocritical, moments where she made mistakes, But she reminds us she's human, a real person, not a character crafted for dramatic effect. People forget I'm not putting on a villain suit, she says. I show up as me. The audience, she explains, only sees what editing chooses to show, and being judged by incomplete fragments of her life is one of the hardest battles she faces. As news breaks that Season 4 has officially been announced, we ask the question on everyone's mind: will she return? After everything she's endured, how does she continue on a show that paints her as the villain? And her answer is honest, brutally honest. She hasn't decided yet. This year was heavy, emotionally draining, and mentally exhausting. She's weighing her options, she's thinking about her well-being, her peace, her family, and what this environment brings into her life. She admits she's thought about walking away, more than once. In fact, she's stepped away twice already, each time for different reasons. But she refuses to feel ashamed of changing her mind. She believes walking away when something harms you is a form of strength, not weakness. And if she ever chooses to step aside again, she'll do it proudly, because protecting her mental health matters more than any paycheck or storyline. When asked if there's anyone she refuses to film with, she gives a surprising answer: no. She doesn't hold grudges. She doesn't plan on avoiding anyone. If others don't want to film with her, she'll respect their decision, just like she hopes they would respect hers. If she returns, she wants to focus on her real life, her family, her healthy friendships, the parts of her world that are grounded in love rather than conflict. One of the most emotional moments she discusses is the Season 3 reunion, the one viewers watched unfold on Hulu, where she broke down, left the stage, and was followed by a producer out of genuine concern. What fans didn't know was that the reunion triggered a full-blown panic attack. She didn't get out of bed for days afterward. That moment wasn't drama, it wasn't a performance. It was a breaking point, and it forced her to reflect on whether she could keep exposing herself to that environment. But the most powerful message she leaves viewers with is simple: be kind. She says every woman on the cast is battling something, whether the cameras show it or not. Everyone has struggled, everyone has hurt, everyone has faced life-altering moments that shaped them. What you see on TV is only a fraction of the truth, a version crafted for entertainment, not accuracy. She admits she too must be kinder. The reunion forced her to look in the mirror and examine her own contributions to the tension. Her final plea to viewers is to watch the show through kinder eyes, to remember they're all real people navigating real pain, to understand they're experiencing tough situations for the first time with no guidebook, to show grace, compassion, humanity, because behind the drama, behind the edits, behind the villain label, there is a woman trying her best, a woman named Demi Engemann.